So with this Cat Williams interview, I was gonna wait to watch it later on, but I had caught it early, so I was like, man, I'm just gonna since I got time now, I'm just gonna go ahead and watch it. Ain't nothing else on. But he was definitely talking about a lot of stuff, man. He was talking about how they got gatekeepers on in the industry. It's all allegedly too, all allegedly. You know what I'm saying? Just entertainment purposes, but um, he was talking about how they got gatekeepers in the industry. I'm gonna go through everything he broke down, so I'm just gonna go through all because just to let people see the headlines and just the certain things that he did. He was talking about just gatekeepers as far as people coming into the industry. I might repeat myself, so just excuse me. It's a lot of information, but he was just talking about certain gatekeepers. You know what I'm saying? He was implying that Kevin Hart is a gatekeeper. You know what I'm saying? Um, he was saying as far as Tiffany Haddish, uh, he, Kevin Hart got Tiffany Haddish on, which everybody basically knows that. You know what I'm saying? But you know, he was just letting it be known. Like he was talking about as far as with Common View, start making people give standing ovations because of him getting so many standing ovations back then. And I will agree with him because uh, standing ovations back then, you know what I'm saying, they wouldn't really give them out like that. But we all know that after a while they start making people, the crowd, do certain things. They always start during the '90s. They start making the crowd get up and applaud and stuff like that. But he was going at Ricky Smiley hard though. He was mad about Ricky Smiley saying the stuff about the Friday After Next role because he felt like that Friday After Next role was something that he worked on very hard. He said he went to the staff and got certain clothes and cars and painted the car and went and got Bishop Dunn one and different things like that. So he felt like he was kind of slighted. Like he said, Ricky Smiley was complaining the whole time about the role. You know what I'm saying? That he didn't really like that. He felt like he was kind of getting discredited as far as his work. You know what I'm saying? Like from what I'm hearing, Katt Williams took that role very serious. That's all he had. You know what I'm saying? At the time, Ricky Smiley had more going on than Katt Williams did. As far as that was Katt Williams' first Hollywood job. You know what I'm saying? And Katt Williams basically let it be known that he was homeless and he was staying in a movie trailer. That's all he had. That was the only opportunity he had at the time, and he was taking it very serious. He wasn't really playing the game with it. He was just saying a lot of different things as far as what he was facing. He just had little kids around that time, so he had to make that one job at Friday After Next work. So he put all into it. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the things he had going on. And he felt like with Ricky Smiley kind of saying that kind of hurt as far as his credibility, as far as what he's done and how he earned the role and different things like that. Which I can understand because that was probably like the hardest time in his life. And for it to be seen, for it to seem like he was just given that opportunity because somebody felt sorry for him or they, you know what I'm saying? That's why Katt Williams was kind of angry about it. And he was saying Ricky Smiley. After that, then he started going at Ricky Smiley. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell y'all why in a minute. But I'm gonna go to this next thing. As far as with Cedric Entertainer, he was talking about Cedric Entertainer stole his joke. And I've heard the story before, but you know how you hear a story sometimes you keep remembering and you forget. But it was about the one joke that Cedric had on Kings of Comedy. Well, I remember I've heard that joke before, but I didn't know where. But Katt Williams said he said that joke on Comic View. He said I got proof it was on TV because Comic View used to play it as a commercial. Then he said Cedric Entertainer came to the back to see him one day and was like, "Good joke, man. You know what I'm saying? I really watched your stuff and you do a great job and everything." And he was like, "You know what I'm saying? Appreciate it." I forgot what other comedian said this, but he said that the comedians will actually go to you, say what's up, oh, that was a good job, and they'll leave and they'll steal your joke and go do it in front of you. Or they'll do it just like Like after they see you, you know what I'm saying? He went literally told him about the joke how he liked it. Then when it did it, so Katt Williams was like, and then said Cedric Entertainer was kind of saying that well he didn't do it. He didn't tell me about that he ain't like it and all this stuff. Basically trying to make it seem like he punked him. Something that a guy like said would do, and Katt Williams basically saying like I'm not gonna let that pass next time. You know what I'm saying? He said, see that's why I don't let stuff pass. He said, and I try to let it pass. You know what I'm saying? But for him to say it like that, that's a problem. Basically saying that they don't need to be in the same room together. But he also went at Steve Harvey. You know, he was talking about Steve Harvey stole basically the concept of hanging with Mr. Cooper, the stand up and the show, the TV show. He felt like Mark Curry, Mr. Cooper, who started hanging with Mr. Cooper. He felt like Steve Harvey stole his whole stand up. And he said he's been accused of it and they have evidence, you know what I'm saying? And the concept as far as the TV show, as far as a teacher, staying with women or staying with different people, you know what I'm saying? Just the whole concept of the show was basically the same as hanging with Mr. Cooper. And they was talking about how Steve said he didn't want to be a movie star and stuff like that, which was, he said it wasn't true because Steve was trying to get the same role as Bernie Mac as far as the Ocean's 11 or whatever. And he said that he hated on Bernie Mac. And Kings of Comedy wasn't even supposed to be a show where Bernie Mac was supposed to go at the end. He said that Kings of Comedy was supposed to be a show that where Bernie Mac was supposed to be at the beginning or the middle, and Steve Harvey was supposed to be at the end. It was actually Steve Harvey's stand-up, and he couldn't do good enough as far as with Bernie Mac, so they had to turn it into the Kings of Comedy. You know what I'm saying? And he went back and he was just letting it be known like Steve Harvey just isn't on that level. You know what I'm saying? That's why he's doing game shows and stuff like that. He's not a movie star. He said Steve was trying to make it seem like he didn't want to be a movie star just because he said he didn't want to be one. He said, which is lies, you know what I'm saying? And you gotta give Shannon Sharp credit too, man. He was letting him talk and asking him questions. Shannon just kept going. You know what I'm saying? Bro, you gotta give Shannon Sharp credit. Cause I didn't think he was gonna keep going as far as asking him questions and letting him talk, but he did. He didn't bleep out nothing either. But he also said Cedric Entertainer has no specials on Netflix or Tubi TV. He said you ain't got none on Tubi or Netflix. But you talking about how you funnier than somebody and all that. That is kind of crazy though when you think about it. Tubi or Netflix? And y'all know everybody got something on Tubi, especially. You know what I'm saying? But Netflix too, to be at that level. But y'all know how it goes though. Everybody, I mean Cedric, he cool and everything, but he ain't really nobody's favorite for real. Let's just keep it 100. But he said nobody really think he funny, you know what I'm saying? Cedric funny, and he was just saying it. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, though, you can't look at it like, oh, Katt Williams kind of being... But he responding to what people done said or done did to him. So it ain't like he just attacking just random people, you know what I'm saying? So I can't understand that when you look at it. But then you got to also look at, like, Katt Williams is the guy who was saying all this stuff that people been saying now. Years ago, people would call him crazy and he need to do this. You know how that was going. Well, not most of us, but you know how that goes. People was kind of trying to judge him and different things like that, believing what they was hearing. But Katt Williams also said, this all allegedly too, but he said Earthquake can't read. Earthquake, the comedian, he said he can't read. That's why he ain't got no shows. He said they took him out on the show and he was trying to read something and he couldn't read it. Then he says Faison Love ain't got no Netflix special, which is kind of crazy. But it ain't kind of crazy because I'm gonna be real. I haven't seen many Faison stand-ups. You know what I'm saying? And Faison be saying stuff about Katt Williams, so Katt Williams had to go in. Faison not to have no Netflix specials. I guess that's why he saying Netflix specials ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because he ain't got one. That's crazy. But it ain't crazy at the same time because he ain't got one. Katt Williams said in his contract that if he worked with Ricky Smiley again in any movie, after the little situation with Ricky Smiley, he told them folks, if I ever work with Ricky Smiley again, he better be wearing a dress. And he said the next movie he was in with Ricky Smiley was First Sunday. And he said, what was Ricky Smiley wearing? And you remember when Ricky Smiley was playing that old lady in that dress? Dang. Katt Williams went in, bro. Then Katt Williams said he came into Hollywood to expose. He been exposing, doing all kind of things, and then he says stuff about Kevin Hart dress. Kevin Hart wearing the dress, talking about he wasn't gonna wear no dress, and how the dress wasn't really gonna he was never gonna be seen in one. And then he turned around and put one on. Then he was talking about how Friday actors, they just ungrateful, you know what I'm saying? Because at the same time, Katt Williams was in the same position they was, and look what he flipped his into. And that's facts, you know what I'm saying? Katt Williams was in a way worse position than what they in. And he took the same opportunity as them and flipped it into a whole nother thing. So for him to say that, you just gotta respect that. Then he said when Kevin Hart was gatekeeper for Tiffany Haddish, he was the one who helped to get in the industry. You know what I'm saying? He said Kevin Hart a gatekeeper. Then he said Kevin Hart an industry plant that made Soul Plane. He said, how you make Soul Plane your first year you get in Hollywood? He said, usually when somebody get to Hollywood or LA, it take a couple of years for them to even get to a certain place. But he said the first year he get here, he made Soul Plane. He said something ain't right about that. Basically, he was saying he was industry plant. And called him Jesse Smollett. And then Shannon was talking about Katt Williams being blackballed. And then he said, can't nobody blackball me. Then he said that Harvey Weinstein wanted to give him head in front of everybody in the agency. Ain't that crazy? Say he wanted to give him head, bro, in front of everybody. Harvey Weinstein. Ain't that wild? Then Faison hasn't done his own tour in 30 years. That's what Katt Williams said. He said Faison hasn't done his own tour in 30 years. But he commented on me. Then he was talking about, he said, what Chris Tucker do we have now? The Smokey Chris Tucker or the Epstein list Chris Tucker? That was wild. He said the Smokey Chris Tucker or the Epstein list Chris Tucker. Y'all in the comments, let me know what y'all think he's saying about that. We'll probably analyze that later on. But then he said, yeah, he basically was talking about that Saturday Entertainer commercial joke being stolen. He didn't like that, bro. He really don't like that. That joke was all he had at one point. He even worked on, he worked with Mr. Cooper, hang on Mr. Cooper, Mark Curry on that joke to make it even better. So he was very upset that he got that joke stolen. You know what I'm saying? That's all he had at one point. As far as what was getting him over the top, you know what I'm saying? For somebody like Shay to steal it, that messed him up. Then he said something about Shannon brought up Dave Chappelle turned down the $50 million, and he was like, Dave Chappelle when he basically didn't get bent over. When they done bent him over and do what they wanted to do with him, he didn't get that $50 million. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to bend him over for that $50 million, and he didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Basically what he said. He did not want to get up for that 50. You know what I'm saying? Who can blame him? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, and that's what he went in there like that. And then you gotta look at it like, just the whole situation that he actually been through. And then all the stuff they said about him, come on now. What he gonna trust? Then they recording people and doing all other kind of stuff and putting you out. So no, he went with that. So Wanda Smith situation, when he went on the radio, he was talking about that as far as he didn't talk about no women with short hair, big boned women. He didn't discriminate. He didn't talk about comedians. He just talked about somebody having gnarled fingers, and because she wasn't educated, she probably didn't even know what gnarl mean, and that's why she was getting so upset and all that other stuff. And he was just letting it be known, like, that situation, she came in there talking about she wasn't going to talk about no personal stuff with me and ended up talking about personal stuff. So he felt defended by that. And also, he didn't know she had situations with other comedians on the same show as well. But the part that he didn't like the most as far as him getting a gun pulled on him that same night after that situation. And him almost, you know what I'm saying, having his life taken and people not really having any kind of consideration for it. As far as he said, if it was anybody else, they would have felt sorry for him. But in that situation with him, they didn't really care. And I can really understand that because when that situation happened, people kind of laughed about it, and that was a real serious situation as far as him getting the gun pulled on him. You know what I'm saying? So he talked about that. He was talking about Michael Blackson taking his advice and cleaning up as a comedian, dressing better, getting fresher. He said, "How y'all?" He said, "A lot of guys be taking my advice as far as what they doing, but they still get mad at me. You know what I'm saying?" He's like, they still get mad at me. Look, Michael Blackson. I said, "How you gonna be a African prince and you dressing all dusty with these dashikis on and stuff?" So now he started dressing better, going back to Africa, different things like that. And he said, people take my advice, but they don't want to thank me for it. But then he brings up how the Emmy Award was worthless because Cedric Entertainer gave it to him. He said, what kind of award? Then basically what he was talking about then, he was talking about he brought up Joe Rogan pushing none for funny comedians, so that's why he's not on there. He's on the Shannon Club Shay show. Then he said Kevin Hart purchased, which is a compliment. That's a compliment saying that the comedians like Ricky Smiley and all them are funny. So he gave a compliment, kind of. But then he started saying all this. This is all allegedly. But then he said Kevin Hart was giving the Comic View show at DC Youngfly. Well, I don't know if it was a show or the building. Let's just say the whole building. He was giving Comic View, and DC Youngfly was giving Hollywood Squares. And he was just talking about a whole bunch of things going on, and just talking about a lot of people gatekeeping in the industry, and he was just letting it all out, man. I'm talking about he was going off on Steve Harvey's situation. Steve Harvey saying my wife did it. Then he talking about which wife, the first one or the second one. It's a lot of things he was going off on. He said him and Kevin Hart ain't been in the same building in 25 years, and it's a reason why, you know what I'm saying? But he definitely said a lot of things, man. I mean, I'll probably go through it a little more later on, but I basically tried to break down as much as I could. But that man ain't playing, man. He laid it all out. But that's all I got, though. Like and subscribe.